Yo, listing presentation. Here we go. Listing presentations are not like a buyer's consultation. You'll see my buyer's consultation video had some very specific scripts, had some workflows, had some language patterns. This one is a lot more casual. Why? Well, when you go to a listing presentation, I want you to think more about the mindset you should be in than the actual words that you're going to say. We are their professional. Most people have been on just as many listing presentations as you have, rehearsed and panicked, at least not if you do it the way that I'm going to share with you. So my listing presentation, it's two parts. I'm going to share this video with you. It's probably going to be 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to break down exactly what I say. And then I'm also going to include it. I have in a PDF. It's actually going to be attached to the notes, or you can email me and I'll send it to you. So buyer's consultation is really static and rehearsed because more than likely you're meeting them in an office. It's on a Google Meet or you're at a coffee shop, but there's a lot more controllables. You're there to actually follow through in this process. The listing presentation, one of them is going to be getting up to check dinner in the kitchen. There's going to be a dog running in. The kid's going to need help with homework. It's just not as sanitized of an environment. Sometimes one of the sellers is going to try to take complete control and want to just kind of go show you the shop they think is so relative. And so you've got to be able to pivot a little bit better. So this is the mindset, really the psychology that we're going in with. So I show up to my very first listing appointments with a clipboard and a CMA. But the CMA is not a perfect one. It's just more got me some good notes on it. So I walk up to the house and I start looking around. I'm looking at the eaves. I'm taking notes about the condition of the home. I'm turning around, looking at the neighborhood. I'm seeing how this house compares to the other houses. What I'm really doing is hoping that they look out their window and they see me taking notes and doing it. Makes me look like I know what I'm doing. I walk up to the door. I knock. When they answer, I just go, "Hey, thanks for having me over. I'm Andy. I'm the real estate agent. Today I'm interviewing for the job of helping you sell your home. It's exciting times, right?" And I walk inside. And I find one thing to compliment. I really love those azaleas in the front yard. Man, that rhododendron tree is tall. You've got beautiful gables on your arches. You just give them one compliment. Think about it. More than likely, they cleaned their house to get ready for you. If not, they at least been fretting over what the value of their home is, and so they want to hear something affirming. It's like you go to your friend's kid's ballet performance. You better be ready with at least a compliment, no matter how bad they sucked. So give it a compliment. Then jump right in. Take control. This is your appointment. It might be their house, but you're the boss of it. Before I walk through and take the full tour of your home, it'd be helpful if I could understand your goals first. Could we just go over to the kitchen table and spend about 10, 15 minutes together? I have some questions for you before we proceed. Walk over to the kitchen table, the dining room table, and say, "May I have a glass of water?" They're going to go, "Of course. I should have offered you that from the start," right? We're doing a couple things here. We're letting them know that we're a guest in their home. We're not just some interloper. And that's what they do with guests, right? They offer them something to drink. So they go get you something to drink. And secondly, it gives you a chance to check your pulse, let those hives fall back down. I don't know why listing appointments get so nerve-wracking. Buyer's consultations seem to be pretty simple, probably because you're in someone else's home. You're a stranger. There's this rejection. I don't know, there's a huge commission check waiting. But so just taking the time to kind of exhale, catch your wits about you, get ready for what's next can mean the big difference. So they walk back with your glass of water, take a little sip, establishes some comfort, some rapport, say, "Okay. Everything we discussed today is going to really revolve around just one thing, netting you the most amount of money for the least amount of time with as few unnecessary distractions as we can put together. The time and when we list and the price we choose is really going to shape the entire marketing strategy. So I just have a few questions to make sure we get this right. Help me understand, ideally, when would you first like to see your house hit the market?" And I'm writing this stuff down, questions, but I'm literally here. It's like I'm an intake. I'm here to write this down. I'm not here to discuss it with them. They might say, "What do you think about that?" For instance, let's say they say, "Well, we were thinking about listing in April. What do you think?" Well, I think that depends on the rest of the questions, right? So for instance, if we were looking to net the most amount of money and we'll introduce some improvements, then I could see how listing in April might be right. If we're just looking to spend as least hassle, but still maximize the return, I could see the timing changing a little bit. Ultimately, it has a lot to do with when's right for you. That's why if I could just ask my questions, I am not going to leave you in the dark about anything. I will give you my best impression about all of it. But just knowing more about your situation is really going to help me understand how to advise you the best. Right? Like, don't we just all want to be heard and understood? They're still used to some sales agent coming in saying, well, this is exactly what I think. I mean, that's what you do when you walk on the car lot, right? So we're just flipping the script on that. We want to help them become their advisor. And so knowing more, like out of curiosity, what's happening in your life that's making this move relative? So they're going to say, well, we have a job transition that we have to go for. We're expecting a baby, and so we're moving out of the house. We're getting a divorce. Okay, so all those situations really have a lot more to do with when they sell the home than whether or not April is the perfect market, right? So imagine they asked you, what do you think about April? And you weighed in one way. You gave it an answer. You said, yeah, April's actually the spring market. It's when the most homes in the MLS transact. This is probably the best time to sell. But this is a divorcing couple, and they've been arguing about that behind closed doors. You're all of a sudden alienating one to the advantage of the other. We also ultimately don't know. That's why we want to speak as little as possible. You just want to ask them some great questions. If they actually they're starting a new job in June, or they want their kids in 11th grade and they want them to actually get through their final year, whatever, get through let's say their senior, you get what I'm saying, finish the school year, well, then June is the perfect time to list. That's why let's just ask the questions. Out of curiosity, what's happening in life that's making this timing important? Okay. All right. You're getting a sense of their urgency. You're getting a sense of what they want to hear. You want them to list the house this Friday, but it might be a 3 to 4 month process for them. So just getting to know that. So what does life look like after the home sells? This is a great way of saying, do you need me to help you buy a house? We'd be living here during the sale. Okay. Living here during the sale. So does that mean you're going to be available for showings on just nights and weekends, or would the house be available for showings during the day also? Okay, great, great, great. So when you picture the right agent for the job, what matters the most to you? I'm sorry? Yeah, when you're hiring the agent, I'm here to interview. What's really important to you when you're selecting the right agent to represent you? Just let them tell you. Okay. Imagine you're a contractor and you walk into someone's home and they're saying, we want to blow this kitchen out, do X, Y, and Z. First of all, you're not going to go right away with, well, my commission's 3%. Like, I'm flexible on it, right? They're going to want to know, like, can you help them with their skill level? First of all, so you'd ask some more questions like, have you already met with an architect? Have you drawn up these plans? Have you already had this designed? Like, how long have you been anticipating this? Is this something you're looking to fund right now? Like, the contractor would just have some questions to ask. And the answer that he has about what he's going to charge, the scope of work he's going to do, when the whole project is going to start, has a lot more to do with the questions the client answers than it does just his idea of what should be done next. So we're going to do the same thing. You may or may not know this, but a home's price is determined about how aggressively we can market it. And so with that being said, I want to know, what is it you're looking for in a real estate agent? Are you looking just to get the house listed as soon as possible? Are you looking to maximize return? Are you looking for an agent that will actually have tough conversations with you and tell you things that maybe you don't want to hear, but it's in the best interest of the home? Like, what are you looking for? Get them talking a little bit. You're also kind of introducing a lot of these concepts they haven't really considered before. Well, no, we don't want an agent just to tell us whatever we want to hear. We want them to tell us the truth. Well, no, we want an agent that's going to, you're kind of just getting to them to talk. You could walk in and say, I tell the truth. I will do this. I will do that. It's just talking out of your neck, right? First of all, it's not even believable. They don't know you from Adam yet. You might even come recommended, but no one's going to believe anybody when they say, trust me. So we want to ask the questions. When you picture the right agent for the job, what matters most to you, so that they can begin to talk about it. And you can begin to nod your head, and that can begin to signal to them that you're those things. They're going to say something like, well, we want to hire an agent that we know the commission, or it's willing to be flexible on commission. And this is your answer. Well, my commission structure is tied directly to the marketing plan we have. Depending on if we do staging, photography, digital exposure, buyer targeting ads, all those pieces work together for the full commission. So if I know exactly what we're looking for, I'll be able to come up with exactly what my pricing structure would be to list this house. Again, are you hoping to sell more as is and prioritize convenience? Or are you willing to do some improvements to maximize the value? So we're like 8, 10, 12 minutes into this. Sometimes they'll be a little bit more longer winded. I do not want this to turn into an hour, right? You want to win with them. If they want this to be an hour, if you can really tell that they're really excited, they're asking all the questions, they're doing all the talking, sure. But this shouldn't be because you're doing the talking. In fact, you should be doing like not even 1/3 of the total talking time. Because if there's 3 of them, 1/3 is equal talking time, right? No, you should just be asking great questions, letting them go more and more talking. Okay. Is there anything else about your situation, timing, finances, family dynamics that would help me serve you better? They're going to love that question. They'll answer it. Okay. Lastly, if everything goes perfect, how do I win with you? Well, you're going to sell our house quickly. Okay. How do I lose with you? Well, you're going to lie to us. You're going to show up late. You're not going to be available for appointments. We're not going to be there at the showings. Okay. All right. Okay. You got to have at least a full page of notes. If you don't have a full page of notes, you're doing this wrong. Okay. Here's what I've done so far. This is my CMA. It's my preliminary report on the neighborhood. I'm not ready to share it with you yet. I just wanted to do my research beforehand so I knew the right questions to ask. Based on everything you've shared, I'm going to refine my pricing strategy. I'm going to come up with the marketing plan that I think is going to fit your agenda that I'm willing to do, not just show you the comps. And when I come back tomorrow, I'm going to bring a clear pricing recommendation, specifics on the comparable homes based on what I see as a condition, also not just this neighborhood, but what I'm seeing selling in the greater area. The days on market trends, so we can see houses priced at this structure. We can see on average how many days on market they are, so we can really anticipate how long this whole sales cycle is going to be, so we can time ourselves perfectly for your June graduation. The active competition, and then a net payoff sheet. Provided I can get by then what your estimated loan payoff is, I'll be able to give you a complete proceed sheet so you know everything. Escrow, commission, excise tax, all the fees that are structured into there so you can make the right decision. So for me to come back tomorrow at the same time, does that work for you? Oh, yes, it does. Okay, perfect. Now let's tour your beautiful home. I can't wait to see it. That's it, guys. Now you get to go look at the home, not worrying about, do I get a close? What am I supposed to say? You know, I've seen this and I know this personally. When you tour the home with a client first, you're trying to be so likable. It's like, can I just get to the closing table so I can say the things that's going to make you hire me? If we can get that out of the way first, then you're touring it. You're looking at, okay, that's great. Oh, I love how you did that. Now tell me why did you do that? Okay, and you're still taking notes. If you leave there with 2 to 3 pages of notes, an appointment set to come back tomorrow, you now can go back, call your managing broker or your mentor or whoever you need to help and say, okay, this is all the things they said. Help me put together the best listing presentation possible. It's going to crush it, guys. So do not feel the need to show up completely planned and prepared. Feel the need to show up learning how to ask all the right questions. Very rarely have I seen, let me think this honestly. The amount of times where tomorrow evening doesn't work for me to come back for 30 minutes, 25% of the time. But most likely then I can come back in the morning or in 2 days. Like, you get to come back, especially because they all want to know what you're going to say. And no other agent's willing to do this 2-step part to come. An experienced agent is just going to show up, try to take it right then and there. But if you show up and say, I'll be back tomorrow, that just shows so much more support for them. This is how you win as a new agent. You do this a couple of times, then you can actually begin to write in, tailor make in your own little pieces. You'll find out what works for you, what you want to change, what you want to augment. But this is hands down the best way I know to teach someone how to take listings. All right, cheerio.